In this video, we are going to discuss how to get into a Whirlpool or Kenmore washer and replace the water pump. We will properly disassemble, troubleshoot, and reassemble the machine and test to verify it is in working order. Okay, let's get started. For this project, you may need a Phillips head screwdriver, a 1/4-inch nut driver, channel locks, and either a flashlight or a drop light, and you should be pretty good to go. The next step is to clear space around the machine so that you can work efficiently. After the area is cleared, now you're ready to remove the cabinet. Let's start first by unplugging the machine. To remove the cabinet, we start with the control panel. There are 2 screws that need to be removed on the back side of the panel. If there are no screws on the back side, then there are 2 pieces on the ends of the control panel that need to be pulled up and forward. When these 2 are released, there will be 2 screws to be removed. Carefully unscrew the 2 screws on the back panel. Then pull the base of the control panel forward. Flip the control panel up and back. It will rest there on its own. Next, unplug the lid switch. You will need to pull out the front section of the clip to release it. Finally, remove both clips. You can use a flathead screwdriver to pry the clip open. Put all removed parts and pieces in the same place off to the side. Open the lid, place your hand on the inside of the lid, and put your foot at the base of the casing. Pull the cabinet towards you while keeping your foot in place. Taking the cabinet off at this angle will release the cabinet from the machine base. Lastly, move the cabinet to a different area out of the way. Now that the case is removed, you may notice spider webs, socks, a cat toy, and other things under the washer. Take a few minutes and clean it up with a vacuum while taking special care not to damage any wires or parts of the washer. At this point, visually look the pump and its 2 hoses over. Look for leakage, cracks, melted plastic, or any other type of damage. Also, you will need to get some towels and lay them around since the pump and hoses will still have water in them. Now let's remove the pump clips. As a side note, if the washer is completely filled with water, pulling off the pump would be a bad idea. You will need to empty as much of the water out of the tub first before proceeding. Now, use the channel locks to squeeze each hose clamp and move it away from the pump while still on the hose. With your hand, gently squeeze and twist each hose until it is off the pump. Take a second to look inside the pump. Very often the pump will not drain because something is lodged inside, such as a sock, other clothing, or other objects. If this is the case, the pump may still be in working condition. Reattaching the hoses can be a little tricky. Water works okay to lubricate the hoses to slide back onto the pump, but saliva works much better. After the hoses are attached, reattach the hose clamps and make sure to move them very close to the pump notches. Make sure the pump lines up with the motor. If it doesn't, turn the motor rod until it accepts the pump. Reattach the pump clips. First, let's take a look at how this works. The cabinet is held in place by 4 pins, 2 of which are on each side of the base plate. There are slots cut into the bottom of the cabinet for these. Also, the cabinet will need to slide under the front part of the base plate. Now retrieve the cabinet and place it in front of the washer. Place your foot at the cabinet base and pull the top part of the cabinet towards you. Now carefully slide the cabinet under the front of the machine base. If it will not go under, you may need to tilt it more towards you and give a little push with your foot. Gently set the cabinet into place while making sure the front two pins enter the cabinet correctly. Set the cabinet against the back of the washer. You may need to pull the back of the machine forward slightly to get the cabinet to sit flat on the base plate. Now the tricky part. It is very difficult to see the rear two pins. An easy way to verify they are in is to look down the back of the washer and see if there is a gap between the cabinet and the back side of the washer. If there is a gap, you may need to pull the washer away from the wall a little. Tilt the cabinet slightly forward while keeping your foot still at the front of the washer and using your hand to guide each side in. With a little persistence, the cabinet will be in place. Reinstall the cabinet clips. Reconnect the lid switch. Lift the control panel up, forward, and down. Make sure the teeth of the panel enter into the cabinet. Gently push the control panel back to lock it into place. Screw in the two control panel screws. Plug the washer back in. Turn the timer to a regular load. Place the water fill level to its smallest setting and set the water temperature to cold. Now start the washer. Check to make sure the cold water is in fact cold. Then change it to hot to make sure the hot water is hot. Now allow the washer to fill, agitate, spin, and drain. If everything works correctly, then congrats on a job well done.